person to introduce would be the Chief Revenue Officer of BuzzFeed. His name's Andy Weedland. So here we go, guys. Enjoy.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Hi, I'm Andy Weedland from BuzzFeed. Who in the audience has been to BuzzFeed? God bless you. The rest of you, shame on you. You should go visit BuzzFeed. It's a hysterical site. Where else do you get your cats and puppies and Kardashian news? That's what I want to know. So what we're going to talk about today is how to develop content that really gets spread organically online. How can we really do word-of-mouth marketing at scale for the first time? All right, dude, it's going to be a long presentation if we only have one slide. Okay, so here's the agenda. We have a POV. We think that social changes everything in advertising for the better. And then we're going to talk about social publishing for brands, how brands are creating content that people are sharing. And I'm going to leave time for questions at the end. So for those of you who haven't been to BuzzFeed, it's a great site. Every month about 25 million people come to our site. And the only reason they come to our site is because they want to find out what's the most shareable content on the web, and then they want to share it with their friends to make themselves look cool. And so if you go to our site, on the right-hand side, we track the sharing behavior of 300 million people a day. And we're seeing what they're reading, but most importantly, what they're sharing. So that's on the right-hand rail. And then we have a group of editors. We have 50 editors led by Ben Smith, formerly of Politico. And they write stories that they think will go viral. And then, so that's sort of our user model. And what we do with brands is, when I first came on board, my job's Chief Revenue Officer, I figured, okay, I got to make money. I'm going to throw banners on the site. Disaster. Doesn't work for crap. Nobody clicks on banners. Nobody clicked on banners on BuzzFeed. So instead, what we're doing is we're working with marketers to create great content, and we treat it like content. We put it right in the stream. Our users don't care whether it's an ad or it's content. If it's good enough, they'll click on it and share it. So here's our POV, is people are not getting their news from newspapers anymore. Sorry, people. It's just not the case. Well, I guess they are. I still get a newspaper. But more and more people are getting their news from their friends via Twitter and Facebook. And the other point that I want to make is that the great thing about the web is you can find stuff, you can play with it, and you can share it with your friends. And so I think advertising should work the same way. And that's what the brands we're working with think. They think that, you know what? If I create great content that my customers like, they'll share it with their friends, and I'll be able to get word-of-mouth marketing. That's our POV. And this is a graph. We have a white paper on our site. By the way, this is the most technical audience I've ever been in. Like, you're going to find this presentation either really stupid or really refreshing. That's all I got to say. But this is the one graph I have. We partner with 150 different publishers, AOL, CNN, Time, Fox News, and we're tracking the sharing behavior on their sites. And what we're seeing for the first time is that Facebook referral traffic to these sites is actually more than Google traffic. So obviously Google's important, SEO is really important, but so much content is being shed via Facebook and Twitter that it really, it's eye-opening. People visit BuzzFeed because they want to look cool. Okay, so the way that we think about content is it's a gift. Like, if you find something cool, you want to share it with your friends, maybe because they're going to like receiving it, or you're building your own personal brand and you want to look cool. And so when we work with advertisers, we say, is this content you're creating, is it going to pass the Facebook test? And we call the Facebook test is, do you want to see this in your feed? Would you click on it? And would you share it? And if it doesn't pass that test, it has no chance of going viral. No one will share it. You'll get crickets. It'll be a big bummer. But if it passes these tests, then you're onto something. So what is social content? And the answer is obviously Basset Hounds running. And the reason I'm showing this is because, like you didn't wake up this morning on the front page of Yahoo, you didn't see Basset Hounds running. Nobody's going to write a story on that. And you certainly didn't wake up and go into your Google box and type in Basset Hounds running. However, if you see this, if your friends share this on Facebook and you see Basset Hounds running, you have to share this content. You just have to, right? And so we did this stupid story on Basset Hounds running, right? And I don't know if you can see the stats over there, but within a week, We got over 1 million views. We got over 100,000 likes. And if you can see, it says social lift. It says 49x. That means 49 times as many people came to this content on BuzzFeed through Facebook than came through BuzzFeed itself. So it was this crazy sharing activity that took place on Facebook. Here's something that we published this story in the summer, and maybe some of you saw it in your Facebook feed. It's 21 pictures that will restore your faith in humanity. And it was really a beautiful piece, and a picture on the right is this guy saving cats during a flood in India. And this picture on the right here is this amazing story. This woman was a cross-country runner, and she never, she always came in last. Had never completed a race better than last place. And she's growing, and she's going, and she's in last place, and the girl in front of her breaks down, and instead of like crossing and getting ahead of her, she actually helped her across the finish line at the same time. It's just like amazing stories, and like just crazy stories. Like if you're unemployed, need an outfit cleaned for an interview, we'll clean it for free. Just like images that our editors pulled and put together in a post. And so this is something that went crazy viral. And in this example, almost 9 million people read this story. And again, the crazy thing is the blue traffic, the 215,000 views, that's the traffic that we promoted this on BuzzFeed. It was a featured story. People came to our site and they read it. But 41 times as many people came to that story via Facebook and Twitter. That's sort of the power of creating really interesting content that people want to engage with and share. I don't know why I did this. 33 on. They're very disappointed in you. Another example. People share cute animals. Here's a crazy thing. Cats get shared at 10 times the rate as dogs. Don't ask me why, but you learned something. So key learnings. Okay. So people want to share things that make them look clever and cool. It's the craziest thing. Like at BuzzFeed, like whenever you get salacious stuff, like Scarlett Johansson nude pictures on cell phone pictures, people click on it, they never share it. Because nobody wants to be a pervert, right? They share things like, oh, I'm such a good person, this is so interesting, isn't that cute? That's the kind of things that people share. Sharing is about moments of relevance and timeliness. So remember the whole, like, Angelina Jolie leg bomb thing? Thank you. But, like, right after the Oscars, I'd do that, and, like, I'd get a huge laugh. Now everybody's like, what, dude, that's like 6 months old, right? It's not even funny. So, you know, there's these trends and these memes, and then, you know, Gangnam Style was huge, and now it's not huge. And, like, these things happen, and they happen very quickly. Another thing that we find is that it really helps to create content about groups with strong identities. So, you know, everybody's got a mom. You know, if you see something, you're going to share with your mom, or everybody's a friend. Like, this is an example. Do you guys remember that earthquake, right? And like everybody in Washington, New York's like, oh my God, an earthquake. And like your Facebook feed's like, earthquake, earthquake. And like I live in California. I'm like, what? This is ridiculous, right? So we had this, we did these pictures of 20 stunning photos of damage caused by the earthquake. It's like a yogurt cup fell over. This picture is slightly askew. And it was like this whole West Coast, East Coast, two-pack, Biggie, you know, like nonsense thing going on, right? But like that kind of stuff went viral. So in a day, 1 million people shared this story. So our point of view is this: I've been in digital media for 14 years. I sold a lot of banners, and you know the dirty secret is they really don't work, and they don't. And all those big data guys that were in here yesterday, just before this, they're like crazy smart, but they're trying to optimize something that nobody clicks on, nobody cares. And television's still king because with a 30-second spot, you can tell an interesting story. And for the first time, if you're creating content, you can tell a great story. The things I'm going to show you now that brands are doing in terms of creating content that people like and share is really powerful, and you can't do that with banner ads. So, yeah, we'll see. And then the last thing is, if you want, everybody wants a snowball effect. Everybody wants like viral marketing. Everybody wants something to go viral. And yet, somebody has convinced people that social's free. And it really shits me because it's not free, right? Like you spend all this time, you create this content, and then you just unicorn farts and magic dust. Like all of a sudden people are going to see it and share it. It just doesn't happen. Like you really have to promote it. You have to get it out there. And once enough people see it, and once you get sort of the snowball effect, then it can really take off. So just quickly on BuzzFeed. So the way that we do it is we don't run banner ads on our site. An advertiser's content has to stand on its own, and we put it in the stream. And an ad really looks like content because it is content. It's in the stream. It gets 10 to 20 times the click rate as a regular banner ad. And it also gets tons of sharing, which is very unique to this industry. So this is a slide. Banner ads bad, social ads good. Right? You guys can read. I'm going to show some examples, but just to sort of frame it, the way that we help brands is if a brand has really great content, they give it to us and we'll promote it and distribute it, make sure people see it. More times than not, brands don't have great content, so we have a team of creative people that will, make lists and stories and videos, and we'll create that for the brand and then we'll distribute it. Or finally, like if you just want to sponsor viral content, if you're a Friskies and you want to sponsor cat content, or if you're a fashion brand and you want to sponsor our lifestyle content, you can do that. So I just want to give some examples of what social content is. And our whole thesis is the internet's great because people find stuff, they play with it, and they share it with their friends. You should do the same thing with ads. Oops. So Toyota Prius. How many times can you say a car gets 53 miles a gallon? I get it, right? So what we did was we came up with the 20 coolest hybrid animals. So we did features on the zebroid, the liger, the beefalo, the donkra. And what does this have to do with cars? Kind of nothing. But what does it have to do? Hybrid animals are cool. People share animals. They got this huge amount of traffic. People loved the story and shared it with their friends. And if you can see, when people share it, it's got light branding, but it does have branding. It's brought to you by Prius C. You can like them on Facebook. You can follow them on Twitter. It's just kind of a soft, interesting way to get your brand out there. We did something for Pillsbury around the Super Bowl. Did anybody know that more crescent rolls are sold around the Super Bowl than any other time of the year? Anybody? No, either did I. It's like those disgusting fried onion things that only get sold during Thanksgiving, and then for 51 weeks they flatline, and then November they go up. It's the same thing. And so we created all this stupid content around crescent rolls. 20 mouth-watering photos of crescent rolls. What? Right? But the thing that really worked is game day snacks across the USA. And the genius of this post is we created 50 recipes around crescent rolls. And if you see a map of the USA, you have to, if you live in Washington, right? I don't know, maybe we need 51 delicious recipes. But if you live in Virginia, you have to see what Virginia is. And trust me, it'll be Virginia ham. If you live in, California, it's going to be avocados. But people are interested in, I've got a friend who lives there, and I used to live there, and my mom lives there. So you can't just click on one recipe. You have to click on multiple ones. And then if you see one that's really good and you think of a friend, you can share it with your friends. So this thing went crazy viral. Most unusual Dunkin' Donuts from around the world. I know it's a stretch, but what are you going to do, right? I mean, how often can you just put a banner ad saying coffee $1.49? Instead, we just got images from Flickr of crazy donuts in Korea and mojito and daiquiri donuts in Brazil, right? It's just kind of goofy, but people like it and share it. This is something we did for Pepsi Next. Has anybody tried Pepsi Next? It's delicious. Okay, 10 beautiful places in the world that actually exist. Fantastical places exist not only in movies and fairy tales, but in the real world too. You've got to see these places to believe them. Just like Pepsi Next, you've got to taste it to believe it. It's this soda that is lowish calorie, but tastes like good soda. It's delicious. And so we came up with these crazy things that you have to see to believe. You have to taste to believe. Vitamin water. I guess their target is people that are getting older but don't feel old. So we came up with these stupid posts about 48 things that will make you feel old, like MySpace, and that's Eminem's daughter, and I don't know. But again, this is another one. This is an advertisement, and 7 times as many people engaged with that ad via Facebook and Twitter than actually saw it on our site. It's pretty cool. This is a great one. I don't know if you guys can read this in back. We work with Virgin Mobile, which is a hysterical company. And so their whole thing's about texting and youth culture and things like that. So we just, you make a post about it. And this is an example. Virgin Mobile's a partner of ours, and they allowed us to share this data. And what this data is saying is that this is for Q2. What was it? Yeah, Q2 of this year. And what the blue data is, all the clicks and engagement they got from their advertising on BuzzFeed. That's the blue stuff. And the red stuff is all the sharing they got from people who liked it and shared with their friends. So for every one engagement they get on BuzzFeed, they get another engagement just free, earned across the web. Really great success story. So social advertising is word-of-mouth marketing at internet scale. And this is an eye chart. There's just 2 points. It's that when you create content and you promote it instead of in a banner ad or whatever, like advertising works. Okay? But the crazy thing is that when someone actually shares that advertising and shares it with a friend and says, oh my God, you got to check this out, it works even better. So the lifts that we're getting in terms of brand favorability, this is a study we did with GE. I mean, I don't know, who's in the market to buy a jet engine? It's like crazy to me that they would care that you have a favorable opinion about GE, but they do. And when they see cool content, you kind of like GE. And if your friend introduces you to cool content, you like them even more. Oh my God, red. So I guess this is my last slide. But you can't really guess which idea will spread. All the ones that we did, like for Toyota, we came up with 20 posts. The one that really worked was the hybrid. So even though you think you know, you don't really know, so you got to try a bunch of stuff. And so you really got to experiment and have some fun. It's really a great time to be a marketer. We're doing very interesting things. If you're sort of, you'll probably keep buying banners because people do. I don't know why. But if you want to do something different and you want to get a bunch of earned engagement, we suggest you try social advertising. It's really working for us.